Good morning, Sheila.
Morning, Juma.
How are you?
I'm very fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wawili tuko tu.
Imagine.
Wow.
Tufanye video call to your WhatsApp.
Wengine watakuja.
Wao wamelala ni kama waliomoka. Ni kama wasee walishika pips last week, saa hii wana watu feel watu wako na pesa.
Unajua lazima mtu ajipeka holiday. Kamini holiday.
Hii ananitisha room service.
Ndio kwanza vile hii wiki iko slow.
Mazee.
Ni sawa tu.
Lakini jana ilikuwa Labor Day US, so
Hivyo na activities, ndio?
But retracement zili happen. Naambianga hata uko na holidays sometimes kunakuwa na movements pia. So kulikuwa na some retracement.
Hey Juma.
Hey, morning. I'm lost, but ni poa. Sinakwambia Ian ako mahali.
Anakaa ako busy na kitu.
Ama na mtu.
Go either way.
Kwa
maisha ya first year ulikuwa busy na mtu yeyote?
First year nilikuwa a free soul, experimenting, kuangalia, observing.
Solitude.
Tulikuwa tuna rende yenye muone kama itapita test of time. But nilikuwa msocial sana hiyo time. Nilikuwa na wase walikuwa wanakujanga kutembea kwangu, tunaenda out, yani first year ilikuwa awesome. Alafu I think second year relationships hiyo awesome. Unaanza kukaziwa, naambiwa hapana usiende. Sasa unaambiwa usiende kulala huko. Sasa
unataka kurudi kwa madhi.
Juma, unaweza penda msichana wenyewe bila pesa?
Sisi tulikuwa na pesa, uliza Sheila, sisi tulikuwa na dogo.
Hivyo sasa, kama ulikuwa na pesa mazuri unataka. Sheila unaweza taka
kwa huko ana pesa.
Tulikuwa tunatesa ile kidogo tulikuwa nayo hiyo wakati.
Sheila unaweza taka kupendwa pia bila pesa.
Poverty haina mapenzi.
Si tukiwa kampo
unahitaji security.
Si tukiwa kampo tulikuwa tunatesa na ile kidogo tuko nayo. Alafu wakati huo mimi by the way mimi nilifanya shit. Ukumbuki nilikuwa nauza hadi food. Mimi hakuna kitu sikufanya kampo.
By the way ulikuanga industrial.
Kampo. Nimeifanya hivyo. Mimi hakuna kitu sikufanya by the way.
Mimi nililala tu. Wala nililala kampo yote.
Piga selfie.
Sawa tu.
Anyway, welcome guys. Today is Tuesday, the 7th of September. 3 months remaining to December. Sijui kama uko na goals ama hauna. Kama
umeachieve kumaliza mwaka.
So we're in the third quarter. Inakuanga ni third quarter ama ni fourth. Wait, tuko wapi?
Mimi naweza sema tu mimi day mtasema third trimester.
Wewe ni kampo ilikufunza hizo. So yeah, welcome guys. Let's look at the market overview. There's a lot to do because we've been looking at most of our tech profits were hit last week. So this week, yesterday, we knew that we had a slow market. Though there was some movement, which were good if you are a retracement trader, because at times I do trade retracements. still we do not have a clear direction of the market because most of our currency pairs are on a very high resistance area. But let's look at these. So today in the morning, there's some things that happened. As you can see, there are news that were being released today in the morning in the Tokyo and Sydney market. This was our high volatility market, but it's already expired. It's already happened. So this is what we're looking at now from here. No high volatility until in the evening. No, until around midday. Yeah, this is midday. So we expect that DAX, and I know most people do not trade these, but in one way or another, it might affect the volatility of the euro and the Great Britain pound, especially the euro. But we are not hoping to get any high volatility news. These are just common news because news will always be there, but it's always good to look out for them. So without further ado, I would like us to start. And first on our watch list has always been the Great Britain pound against the yen. And the Great Britain pound against the yen has been a bullish market, as you can see. Formed a double bottom here, went up, made higher highs, came back right in, made double top again, and now we've been in an uptrend. And according to our analysis, we've been looking this area as our targets. But what our nitty-gritty is, where do we get in and where do we get out in this specific currency? So if we look at it keenly, we realize that in a daily chart, this could be a retracement as it looks to breach this area. In 4 hours, this is a very good buy, but still we have a double top here that has not been breached. Will we be able to breach this area? Since we've been able to breach this area, there is an area of interest here where there is a lot of support. That is where we are at. So we are hoping that we'll be able to reach our destination, which is here, without going lower. But once we reach this area again, we will be looking at the market in a deeper eye. For today, we'll be looking, we've been waiting. Yesterday, we've been waiting for this retracement, and today it might even come a bit lower before it takes off to the upper side. So when we look at it in 1 hour, we can see that there's even a trend that is forming, but I keep changing my machines. That is why there's a bit different. You can see that yesterday it did breach. Today in the morning and yesterday it tried to breach downside to this trend line, and it did. But again, it has not gone past these candlesticks that formed here previously. And so we'll be looking for this market to see if it goes lower. If it goes lower, we'll be looking whether it breaches this area to the downside. Then we can start looking at the market in a different eye. But as at now, we are still in a very bullish market. We'll be looking for buys around here where we are at. It is always good to watch out at the scenarios that will happen in the market because we are not entirely right. Like I always say, the market has its own brain. So maybe Ian can take us through the candlesticks that you see forming here.
Hey, good morning, Juma.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm well.
Participants wengine habari zenu. So before Ian takes you through the candles, let me first of all take Ian through trend lines. So Ian alikuwa na argue that you've drawn your trend line wrongly. Jaribu kumwelezea why you've drawn it that way, and I hope ameelewa. Nawambia the part from where you connected the three touches of that trend line iko sawa, but this market yenye iko hapa juu, it's directionless, it's moving sideways, haina direction yoyote. So like it's good for people to understand that when drawing trend lines, you're looking for a market that is moving, not a market that is on a range. Range markets have no direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Despite, no matter how many lows a ranging market makes, they don't count when drawing the trend lines.
Yes.
Utajipata umeingia consolidation, unajipata trend lines zako, and you'll get messed up.
Yeah.
Kila saa utakuwa unapata trend line yako imebreachiwa, unajaribu kuadjust to fit the new lows. If you feel there's always that you're given the chance to draw trend lines as much as you can for charts, to connect any rule, any high that you feel that this is the most high, there isn't high. But the best way is to look at a market, at least 2 points zenye zilikuwa zina move in the same direction. These are the one in a range. I'd like people to avoid ranging markets because sometimes they mess accounts and they are also messy unless you know how to trade ranges.
And even sometimes they cause a change of market direction.
Yeah. So in your turn.
Juma. Mi nakubaliana na hiyo basi, nakubaliana na hiyo trend line, then I'm also with you kwa all these market penye umechora bedhe line, it's very nice, but look at where the market is actually. It is the previous, like hii market tumekuwa tukipanda, like if you minimize, like if you see like this market tumekuwa tukimake a series of higher highs to come, like since to bridge out of this zone up, we are still just making high highs. This is the first point where the bulls would score a point, they retraced the upper, then again we scored a new point above this one, then this time again we came lower, but not this is now confirming the trend line. Then again we got some bulls actually scoring a point up higher. So this time if we scored a point here, this previous high actually we wanted to see how the price actually is going to be over this zone, because if we made a higher high from this one, actually this is our previous resistance, actually it is becoming our current support, and you can see what the market actually is doing. I want you to zoom in a little bit. Zoom in. You see like how it is interesting, like these candlesticks, you see like come up like between here, these candlesticks actually, for this one, this is a rickshaw man, then this one actually I can call it an arm. Let me just call it a long-legged shadow actually, because that is it has long, but I want just to highlight what does it mean. So those candlesticks actually mean that these two sessions over here, the market actually, the sellers are taking these markets down, but actually if it could have closed actually somewhere below here and the market actually to open, we could have gone a little down. But you see like the market actually, kitu inafanya ni kurepel, most of the time it is repelling from that zone. And actually
hello Ian. Kama Ian amehepa. But yeah, you see this trend line that I had drawn here, in case it breaches, these candles do breach to the downside, then we'll be looking at this market differently. But now it is holding above. This market has been rejected a lot of times with these candles very quickly, meaning there's something that we look, there's something to watch out there. You can see in 1 hour's chart the way that how clear it is. It has tried to come to make lower, to go lower than the ranging area, this consolidation area, but it's unable. I will look at this area again. There's been a gap, this gapping that we talk about. There's been a gap, and once it did gap, it went even higher. This could be a weekend effect. Still, the market is holding above this area. So once since it is we will be waiting to see whether we get a good price action move to continue with our buys. So we are hopeful it's a buy, but in case it breaches this to the downside, then we will not be looking at any trades for the Great Britain pound against the Japanese yen. That is what I can say about this currency pair. Any question, Sheila?
Question.
Umesema no question ama question?
Nimesema no question.
Nimesikia question. Janet?
No question.
Yeah, mna sound kama tuko kwa lecture fulani. Na mwalimu anakuanga mkali. Eric? Eric?
Eric ameenda kunywa chai.
So let's look at the Great Britain pound, the GU. So with the GU as well, we've been looking at buys for the longest time, as you can see. And we said our first take profit was here, which was hit on Friday. But this was a very strong SNR area. As you can see, the price did even try to go up to this price, but was unable. This price was rejected very quickly. And so the retracement did happen. Once the retracement happened, then we will be looking for even more buys. So where do we get in and where do we get out? Hata Eric ni kama ameenda kunywa chai for real. Nyi pia mnataka chai niwatumie?
No thanks.
Suma.
Huko mzee wangu ameniambia hizi fika Kite kuna vumbi mingi.
Really?
Ameona venye wenzake amefanyiwa huko.
Nani?
Huyo mzee wa delivery.
Oh.
Kidogo tu natumia wase link hapa, kuna mzee ameniutisha link. So sijui kama the things that we talk about are very clear, because I would love this to be very clear. Tusikuwe tunafanya just because it is what we've said that we should do. We should do this with a reason. We should say that we are buying because we think the market is bullish. We've confirmed that the market is bullish, and so that is why we are buying. We are selling because the market is bearish, and so in this market, the market is very bullish. So in 1 hour where we do make our entries, again, you can see that we've had a sort of retracement, which is okay up to this point. And we can highlight this area and say, if it breaches this to the downside, because the recent activity that was done was activated, the recent buy that was done was activated by this guy who's been running. If we said that support and resistance was a steeplechase, wait, no. Yenye huwa mnapatiana baton inaitangwaje? This race that you give each other baton. Relay.
Really?
Yes. Ati really? Ni relay. Yeah, so if we said that was it, then we'd say that this is where they hand each other the baton. So it did happen here, it did happen here, and it did happen here. So this was this guy's time, and is still holding above this guy. So until it breaches to the downside of this guy, we're still looking for buys. So the best place to make our entries would be this highlighted area. If you had left the market, of course, if you're in a buy from down here, there's no need of you changing. But if you think you need to get back into the market or add position, I think this is the best time. And remember, sometimes we do say that we cannot be 100% strict. This market could form a hammer here, and the hammer mostly will show us that the market is starting to move on the upside. So maybe this was our confirmation that the bulls are back in the market and should get back in. So let's watch out for this market, especially with the London market, and see how it behaves. But right now we are in a very good buyers territory where we would place our buys. Again, our first take profit will be up here because we'll be looking to breach this area to the upside. But in case we do not, again, it may form a double top, meaning a change in direction of the market. We'll be looking for a lot of signals. But as at now, we would say comfortably that this is a buyer's territory, and we'll be targeting to make higher highs once we breach the highlighted area. Unless there's a question there, I would like us to move on with the next currency. The Australian dollar against the US dollar, the Aussie dollar. So for the Aussie dollar, same thing happened. Remember, yesterday was Labor Day in the US, so that is why the market was a bit slow. But today is another day, and we are looking to make higher highs. We're looking to make higher highs. And as you can see, the market is a bit ranging here, which is some sort of retracement actually, as you can see. This guy tried to go to make even higher highs. The price was rejected very quickly and formed an inverted hammer and even went lower, spiked lower. But since we have not closed this candle in 1 hour, then we may not be able to count these. However, it may continue to come lower and challenge this SNR area. So we'll be looking at this SNR area very closely, and see, this is where we'll make our entries for the buys. But again, remember guys, the market has been in a very good movement for the past some weeks. So there's a likelihood that this will form a range. We might be getting into a consolidation. We might start to consolidate. So it is very good that we watch out for this area. And if we do buy again, our first target will be up here before we target to make higher highs. This will be our first target before we decide to make higher highs. I don't know whether that is clear. And I'm saying that because it might come down here and end up here. That means it might form some sort of a range. We should be prepared for that. Nobody knows what the market is gonna do, but that is very likely that something like that might happen. You can look previously, this is what happened during the sell. So once we get some good movements, sometimes we do end up in a range, in a consolidation area, and then we do break out from the consolidation area. So this is because the market has been moving very well for the past few weeks. Then there is a possibility that this will be a ranging market. But since we closed above this area after the NFP, we are very positive that this market will be bullish either way at the end of the day. So let's watch out for that. Unless something is not clear, let me know. Simon Mbogo, karibu sana.
Juma.
Asante baba.
Yes.
So in conclusion, iko retracement sahi.
Yeah, tuko kwa retracement. If you look at it in 1 hour, you can see we've been coming up very well. So you can on.
Yeah.
So this is just a retracement, but like I said, it might form a range.
Yeah.
We might get back, we might even come to this area and come back to this area. So we might form a consolidation area, but once we do for this week, maybe at the end of the week, we'll be looking to break out to the consolidation area. However, it is possible that the consolidation doesn't happen and that the market will just turn around and continue going back. And like I said, we'll watch out at this area. If it breaches to the downside, we'll not be looking for any trades on this currency pair, because we'll be undecided until we get a confirmation that the bears have taken over the market. But as of now, we are still in a very bullish market, just waiting for some retracement to happen. That is okay? Yeah. So sijui Ian wameenda wapi? Labda wajalipa bill by the way. Muuliza.
Nikiateka na wasumbua.
Ama ni rent. Yeah, muulize. Ni ama stima ilikatika. Tokens
Yenye
wish.
pia iko na charge.
Asila tokens huisha na net inakuanga powered na steam mpaka nunue
Oh,
bundles.
hivi.
So again, let's look for the EU. For the EU, for the longest time, remember these guys that we started doing our analysis down here. This was our entry position, if you can remember. Actually, we did come down with this. We were looking for cells here, and once we did take off very well. So these are very good pips. If you've been doing analysis with us, I'm sure that you would have traded this from here to here. So if you are able to capture these pips again, then it means that you're still in the market, very active. Now we're in a very, very, very serious place where our an SNR area that we've been watching out. And we said that this was our take profit, which was hit on Friday. And today being a Tuesday and yesterday being a Labor Day, we did experience some sort of retracement, very slow, but did happen. And so in our general overview, we've been looking to bridge this area to the upper side and make even higher highs. But since we are in that area of a retracement, then we'll be watching out to see how it goes. But what we can say comfortably is if we breach this area to the downside, we'll be waiting for, we'll be waiting to see if this market will even go lower or it will remain holding above this area. Remember, there is also a possibility that there is some consolidation here and there. So we might even sell and buy. So let's be ready for that. So once you get your entries around here, then you must be watching at the area up here so that since we've not been able to breach this area, once we breach this area, we'll have confirmation that the bulls are still very active in the market. But before we do that, we'll be looking to see whether we breach this to the downside. If we do, we'll not be looking for any trades in the EU. I don't know whether I'm clear.
Yeah.
Eric, umerudi?
Nimerudi, nimekuwa kwa matatu sasa, ilikuwa na kelele.
Pole. So this is the general overview of the EU. So for you, Eric, I know you're a swing trader. So from here, we'll be looking for more buys actually, but we are looking for entry positions once we breach this area. And if, I don't know, Eric ni kama ulitupata hapa katikati, hukuanza na sisi hapa chini. So you see, in a long-term trade, this was also a good one. You'd have held this for like 2 weeks, which is still okay. But for now, we are looking to breach this area. And once we do, then we'll be looking to make some support and resistance up here before we make even higher highs. So let's watch out for that. Our entries, like I said, it's the highlighted area, and then we may make, we will come to challenge this area again. If we do breach this area to the downside, we'll not be looking for any trades in the EU. The USD card. The USD card, like I said, we were looking to breach this area. If you can remember, sijui kwa nini ni charts zangu zimefutika. Let me use a bolder one. We've been looking to breach this area to the downside, which we did. And since we did, we said that as long as you're buying the other USD currency pairs, then we might be holding lower on this one. But again, we do have a lot of support in this area. So we are in this area currently, and we'll be looking to see whether we breach this area. It is very likely that we'll breach this to the downside if we continue buying the rest. So this is some sort of retracement to the upper side, but we'll be looking for our entries, and we will breach this area targeting this area as our take profit. Once we do that, we will be not looking for no buys, no trades on that market until then. However, remember, this is a very strong support area, so we'll be watching out to see whether we breach this area. So risk management is highly encouraged. And if you're not sure about this USD card, since it's not been clear for the longest time, then I suggest you stay out of it. In a daily chart, as you can see, it's been a bullish market. So once it reaches here, there is a possibility that we'll continue with our buys. But before then, we'll be looking to see whether we will be able to challenge this SNR area down here. I don't know whether that is clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the USD JPY, we've been looking for this area as this trade as a bullish market, and naona imelemewa kupanda kabisa. So yesterday after Friday, it did try to make some retracement down here, but it has not been able to breach this area again. So we'll be looking in the short-term trade, we'll be looking to challenge this area down here. But in the long run, we'll be looking to see whether we can make higher highs. If we look at this in 4 hours, you can see it's been sort of a range. This has been sort of a range. So it's been buying and selling at the same time. So we should avoid such markets where we have no clear paths unless you're a scalper. If you're scalping, then you're very okay to do this market. But if you're not, then let's watch out for these. We said that the Euro card, USD card, we'll be watching to see how they perform. And if they do perform well, according to expectation, this market will be a bullish market in the long run. But today we'll be looking to see whether we can challenge this area down here. So that is it for the USD card. For the oil, we do have only 8 minutes. That's why I'm rushing. For the oil, we've been looking to make higher highs, and on Friday we were able to breach this area to the upper side, but we came back right in. And so today we'll be looking for entries to see whether we are supposed to go up again or come down. For me, I can say that the retracement has happened, although it's a double top. This market is very bullish. We will look at it keenly. So let's see how it goes. But I would say that it's perfect time to make our entries, especially here. But again, risk management, because we do have some oil news that will happen later during the week. So it is always good to watch out on that. But as long as we are holding above this area, then we are still in a very bullish market. We are still holding above this area. We're in a very bullish market, and our first take profit will be targeting here. This will be our first target profit. This is where we'll put our first TP. Once we reach that area, we'll be looking to breach that area to the upper side and add more positions on the buys. But as at now, we'll be watching to see whether we breach this area to the downside. And once we do, we will not be looking at any trades on that commodity. For the silver as well, we're looking to make higher highs. Remember, guys, this was an activity of NFP. We did hit our take profits, if you can remember. But our major take profit was up here. We haven't come near it yet. So we'll be looking to make some retracement. These are just some retracement. We'll be targeting even 50% of this candle, and then we'll be looking for our entries to make higher highs. We'll be watching out to see whether we breach this area. Once we do, then we'll make sure that we add our positions on that. On the gold as well, the gold has been a slow market lately, but still moving. If you can remember, we started with gold down here. For those who didn't capture this like me, because I was out of this happened on the opening of a market on Monday, and I was out of the market. So we did capture this trade from down here to up here. If you can remember very well, this was our first take profit, and this was our second, which was activated and hit last Friday during the NFP. So we will be watching to see if we will be able to breach this area to the upper side. Remember, guys, it's the same things that we do repetitively, very boring, but this is where money is. If you are unable to breach this area, we'll be looking for no sells, neither no buys. But once we do breach this area to the downside, we'll be targeting to see whether we'll challenge this support area to the downside. But if we do breach this area to the upper side, which is very likely, we'll be looking to make higher highs. So that is it for the gold. We'll be looking to see whether we make higher highs and challenge even this area. This will be our first step profit once we breach this area to the upper side. So unless anyone has a question, I would like to remind you guys that today we'll be having our webinar at 8 p.m. We'll be talking about trading emotions, because analysis only are not the indicators of success in trading. We must control our emotions. We will look at whether we should have emotions or we should be acting like robots. We'll be looking on how do we control our emotions if we do. We'll be looking at a lot of things. We'll share experiences as well. So remember to join us in the evening. If you haven't gotten the link, again, make sure you get one. And see you guys then. Any question? You can see the chat is empty, meaning there are no questions. Yeah, so see you guys in the evening. Kindly make sure that you attend. May the peeps be with you. See you tomorrow.
Bye. See you.
Bye.